Welcome everybody to a look at a brand new box set release from Radiance Films. Yeah, we're not going to review each film here. There's three of them. We're going to do those individually. This is basically just looking at the films in general and yeah, any extras that we might get with the release itself, which are mostly down to the booklet. But you know, there is not generally much with these Radiance Films box sets outside of such a thing. But still, Daiei Gothic. It's a trilogy of horror films from the film company Daiei, who are a very prolific company in my collection overall. I own 48 of their films out before getting this trilogy of films. So now it's 51, and yeah, they did the likes of the Gamera series, the Sutuchi series, as well as the Daimajin trilogy and more well-respected horror films like Cure and Pulse. Yeah, and as well as the like samurai films like Rashomon, as well as the Shinobi Ninja series. Yeah, that's the main reason why I got this box set is because I've been into their films for quite some time, and yeah, basically just been looking forward to seeing more from them, quite frankly. Yeah, the first film is from 1959, and it is called The Ghost of Yotsua. I think it's Yotsua. But yeah, this is directed by Nobu Nakagawa. I am going to butcher these names, unfortunately. But yeah, so this horror tale relates the consequences of a Japanese legend which tells of a man who has to betray his wife in order to achieve power. Yeah, it looks like a fairly interesting premise for a film, to be honest. And yeah, we do get some original artwork and some new artwork with this release. I believe this is the new artwork on the front. And then we've got reverse artwork as well. So yeah, all three of these films have had 4K restorations by the way, so I'm sure they all look fantastic. Yeah, really looking forward to that one. And then from 1968 we have The Snow Woman. So this is directed by Tokizo Tanaka, who did three of the Zatuchi films. So obviously with this being a Daiei series of films, and then they're obviously going to take from their other Daiei produced films as well. So yeah, there is going to be some crossover with these three films with other Daiei produced efforts, but still, this is about a master sculptor and his apprentice who are trapped in a bad snowstorm after finding a special tree for carving a statue for the local temple. Finding refuge in an abandoned hut, they celebrate their luck in finding the tree, but soon they are visited by the Snow Witch, who freezes the sculptor to death but takes pity on the apprentice. He must promise to never speak of this or she'll return and kill him. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good one as well. Obviously, it does give a fair bit away in terms of the plot premise there, in terms of what happens in the film. But yeah, again, another 4K presentation with this one. And we get new artwork on the one side. And then maybe original artwork on the other side. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, so well done in that regard. And then finally, also from 1968, we have The Bride from Hades. So this is directed by Satsuo Yamamoto, who did two of the Shinobi Ninjas films and one Zatuchi film as well. So again, seen a fair few from him. So on the night of the summer of the Obon Festival, Hagiwara Shinzaburo meets a beautiful courtesan named Otsuwa. Not knowing she's a ghost, he becomes infatuated with her. Again, a sounding film, to be honest. All three of these sound interesting, and yeah, all three of which I'm really looking forward to seeing. Unfortunately, I've not seen them before, so I can't recommend them at the moment. But yeah, they do sound good, and yeah, Radiance Films have rarely put a foot wrong when it comes to showing films that maybe not have had a wide release in the past, or just releasing films that might well be known, but again, haven't had a release in the past, especially in the UK. Yeah, looking forward to all three of those. And like I said, it comes with a booklet as well. Surprised there's no art cards or anything like that, but we do get quite a fairly thick booklet on the go as well, which yeah, has shots from I think the films, but again, not seeing them, I am not entirely sure. So inside the booklet, we have your cast and your crew for each individual film. And then we have The Sword and the Shadow from 2024 by Tom Mez. Then we have The Haunting of Japan from 2024 by Zach Devison. And then we have a review of The Ghost of Yotsuya from 1959 by Mami Agura. And then a review of The Snow Woman from 1968. And then a review of The Bride from Hades, also from 1968 by Haru Kasugi. And then we have Yuki Onna from 1904 by Lafacido Hearn with a new introduction by Paul Murray. And then we have a Passional Karma from 1899 by the same person with a new introduction by Paul Murray. And then transfer notes and credits. So what are those? Are these short stories? I think it's what the films were based on, basically. Because The Bride from Hades, it says here, was based on a traditional tale called The Peony Lantern. And Hearn's version was published under the title of Passional Karma in his book in Ghostly Japan, which is around 8,000 words, so that's pretty substantial. And then Yuki Onna, apparently in the 1960s, it was a fruitful decade for Lafacido Hearn related cinema. First came Miyazaki's Kobayashi's Kawaii, based on 4 of Hearn's Japanese ghost stories, since recognised as an enduring masterpiece of world cinema. Just 4 years later, in 1968, a further 2 films were released by the production company Daiei Kyoto, Bride from Hades and The Snow Woman, both of their plot lines having been published as stories by Hearn. Well, that's interesting. And there's some really rather interesting artwork in here as well. I'm not sure if this is what was in Hearn's book originally. Some really rather interesting artwork. And there's more of it as well than that. This, which is quite creepy. So if you don't like creepy images, then don't look at this. But yeah, that is a really rather quite a creepy image, to be honest. Again, not sure if this is something that was with the original release of Hearn's. And we've also got this one as well. Where people come up with such things, I don't know, but I wish I had such a talent. But I don't. But yeah, that's quite a substantial amount of the booklet is both of those stories, which is really, really cool, to be honest. Again, as per usual, whenever they come up with stuff like that, it's like a case of who thought up with that, and was it an easy thing to get the rights to put those stories in this booklet? Because at the end of the day, you're not buying a book, you're buying 3 films. So yeah, I don't know how that would have gone down with the rights of whoever owns the rights to those. So yeah, interesting booklet, and it looks like 3 interesting films. So expect reviews of those coming up at some point. But had a lot of films that have been bought lately. I've still got to work my way through that J Horror Rising box set. I've watched 2 of the 7 films so far. As far as the discs go, obviously I've already seen the 7th film in that box set in the past. But then I've also gotten a couple of more Radiance films that have come, I Vampiri and A Quiet Place in the Country. And then I've still got 2 of the Indicator releases to look at as well, which I'm not sure whether or not this is going to come out after or before of those. So yeah, but still, another impressive looking box set. Radiance Films really do put a foot wrong with their box sets. I think the only one that I've not been bowled over by was Commedia all'Italiana, and that's just purely because I think the language of comedy does have some barriers when the language is in a different language to the one you speak. So yeah, but still, one of those films was still excellent. So yeah, hopefully all 3 of these are excellent. But nonetheless, if you have seen either of these films, I'd like to hear your thoughts on them. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.